When looking for a job, your LinkedIn account is one of the key things that recruiters and people who are hiring are going to look at when they are thinking about whether they're going to enlist you for the interview process or not. And that is why in today's video, I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step tutorial on how you can optimize your LinkedIn profile. So if you've never understood what each section on LinkedIn means or how you can actually optimize your LinkedIn profile, then this video is for you. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Gloria and let's get to it. So just a fair warning, I'm not going to do my usual skip around the house kind of video. I'm gonna sit here and of course I'm gonna show you what to do. We are going to be interacting with three main websites. The first one being LinkedIn, because of course we are optimizing your LinkedIn profile. Then the second platform we're going to use is probably Canva, where I can get to show you how you can come up with the graphics that you want to use on your LinkedIn profile. And then the third platform we're going to use is Pinterest. And yes, you can find design ideas on Pinterest for your LinkedIn profile. You just need to know where to look. So the first thing about LinkedIn is that it gives you a lot of sections where you can add your professional information that you'd want LinkedIn to use. Now, the reason why it sections it's because it wants to give each and every person an opportunity to share as much information with recruiters as they possibly can on the platform, because remember, LinkedIn is a professional platform. And without blabbering a lot about LinkedIn sections, we're gonna jump straight into LinkedIn, and I'm gonna show you what those sections actually mean. We're going to use my profile as basically the landing page that we're going to be utilizing. And when you land on your LinkedIn profile, this is usually the platform, or rather this is usually the homepage that you get to see. Now there are many ways to get to your profile, so you can either click on the profile picture on this end, but I love going to the icon on your top right and then going to view profile. Now when you land on your profile, you can be able to see that I have already optimized my LinkedIn profile, but I'm still going to show you what it means. Now you are going to click on the add profile section, because this is where LinkedIn usually highlights all the sections that are included in your profile. Now I'm going to close the recommended one and we're going to start with the core ones. Now the core ones basically mean these are the sections that are going to be essential when describing you as a professional. So you can see here LinkedIn has added, there's the education section, there's the position section, there's the services section, a career break, and adding skills section. This is because these are going to be the most basic information that a recruiter is going to look at when they're thinking about hiring you or screening you or shortlisting you for the interview process once they've gone through your LinkedIn profile. The next set of sections, which are recommended, they're nice to have, but they're not a must to have them, are the featured sections, the licenses and certification sections, the add projects section, the courses section, and the add recommendation section. Now, as a professional, I would highly encourage you add the recommendation sections, because this is how you are going to be requesting for people you've worked with to give you a recommendation on LinkedIn for social proof, and then also having the project section, because you'd want to highlight the best projects that you're really proud of, and you'd want the recruiter to know you're proud of these sections, you're proud of these projects. And then there is the additional sections where you can get to add your voluntary experience. You can also add publications if you're writing, if you have a newsletter, or if you're thinking about starting a LinkedIn newsletter, this is the perfect section to add it to. You can add patents if you have them, and you can also add honors and awards, and of course you can go through the rest of the sections that you think would be beneficial to your profile. Now, in order for you to come up with the banner section, as well as figuring out what you're gonna put in your banner section, this is where Pinterest and Canva comes in. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna jump on Pinterest, and then we are going to find some inspiration or some photos and designs that are going to inspire the design we're gonna come up with for our banner. So when you land on your Pinterest, you're going to search up LinkedIn banner ideas, and after you hit search, you're going to be brought a lot of ideas that you can skim through. You can go through them and you see what actually makes a good LinkedIn banner. For example, if I click on this one, because it's so simple for me, When I expand this particular design, you can see here what they've done. On the top left corner, they have a call to action. Then there is a photo in the middle. There's a photo of them, and then there is their value proposition on what they actually get to deliver for someone. And that's the banner design that probably has inspired me. And then you can also go through others. You can see in the right corner, they've also given me a bunch of ideas. You can see here there are 4 banners, and these banners basically, they're still following the same strategy as the other one, where you can see top left there's a call to action, and then there's a photo for the first one. There's a photo, and then you can see here they've indicated their value proposition and what niches they're actually servicing or serving people in. So once you've gotten a good idea of what you want, the next thing is going to be, you are going to jump onto Canva, of course. Once your Canva loads up, the first thing you're gonna search up there is, you're going to change it to templates, of course, and then you are going to search up for the design you want. So it's a LinkedIn banner. You can be able to see that it brings you a bit of ideas, and you can see here, yes, the ideas are really good, but they are blunt. They are really blunt, except the ones, of course, for Pro. I'm not on Canva Pro, that's why I'm not getting those options. But you can see there are smooth designs that you can just click on, and then you create a banner that really represents your kind of style. Say for example, I select this one, and then on my Pinterest, I had decided to go with one of the designs that are in these 4 ones, and I decided to go probably with the second one. So the second one from the top. That is exactly what I'm going to implement when I select customize this template. Of course, you are going to customize it towards your liking and everything. So ensure that you've selected a design that actually fits your style and it fits your personality, because it's going to be beneficial in the next step. Then the next thing is going to be adding them to your LinkedIn profile. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna jump into your LinkedIn profile again, and then you are gonna click on this pen icon that appears at the top just below the banner section. And once you click it, it's going to open up a dialog box where you can add your first name, your last name, any additional name that you'd want to add. Then on the headline section, you're going to outline the headline that makes sense to you. I have a few suggestions on how you can actually approach this headline section. Of course, the framework is a bit less complicated compared to what I've used, but for your headline, I have a few pointers. Now, if you are a job seeker, you can outline the current role you're in, the role you're seeking, 3 to 5 skills that make you qualify for that particular role, and then you're going to indicate your certification and an impact statement. So in the previous industry or in the previous company you've been working in, what is one impact that you're really proud of that you can be able to highlight? And then after that, the next thing is going to be the current position. Of course, you're going to show it on your intro. And then the education, you can see here I've added the school. I did not select to show the school in my intro for a couple of reasons. First of all, I already completed my school, my university degree, I already have it, so I don't see the need of me highlighting my school on my profile. And then the next thing, you're going to add your location, and of course you're going to add your contact information. And once you've done that, you're going to save it. And then the second thing you're going to do on your profile is you're going to go to the rightmost corner of your profile, and then you're going to click for public profile and URL. You're going to click that option, and you are going to change whatever information that is on your profile link, because you want to make it memorable. You want to have a profile link that's memorable for you to use, because this is the link that you're going to be sharing with people once they tell you, share with me your LinkedIn account. Then the next part of your optimization, of course, you're going to scroll down, and you are going to go to your about section. Now, your about section is essential because this is where you add your value pitch, and you can see you're given 2600 characters to talk about whatever it is you want to share with the people that you want to find you. Now, for my about section, I have used a value pitch instead of a history. So I've written a story of how I got to where I am. Now, For your about section, this is the framework or the structure that you're supposed to follow. The first thing you're supposed to indicate is the problem, and you agitate the problem that you're actually solving for. Now, by agitate, I mean you're supposed to really make it seem, or you're supposed to really hit the point where it is costing the people you want to solve this problem for the resources that they cannot afford to lose. Then the second thing that you're supposed to highlight in your about section is going to be your proposed solution. So how do you help them in that situation? And then the third thing you're supposed to indicate is going to be your experience. So how are you able to come up with these solutions? What experiences do you have, and what lessons did you learn from your previous roles that have made you really qualify to actually solve those problems that you've indicated in the first paragraph? And then in the fourth paragraph, you're going to highlight your offers. So what are you selling to them? And then the fifth paragraph is going to be your call to action. So you're going to show them how they can get in touch with you. Now, there is a lot that goes into your about section, honestly, and if you need me to do a tutorial on how to copyright your about section, feel free to let me know in the comment section, but that's the structure that you need to use. And you guys, if you go to my LinkedIn profile and you read my about section, you can be able to see that I have covered literally everything I've told you to cover in that particular section. And then once you're through with that, the next thing you're gonna go to is your experience section. Now, this is a very important section. Now, for me, I haven't yet added the information to my experience section because this is a new account and I am still working on it, okay? But for you, you want to come to this pen icon, and then you want to, I'm going to use my first experience because that's the one I'm currently working in. And I am going to, first of all, write the title of the job that I'm currently in, which is indicated there. Then you're supposed to indicate the employment type. Of course, I'm my own boss. I already quit my job. I'm running my own business. That's why for me, it is self-employed. But for you, it can be a role that you're either full-time, freelancing, seasonal, or apprenticeship. Like, for example, when I add my Google experience, it's going to be apprenticeship because I was in an apprenticeship at a site as a site reliability engineer at Google for 6 months. So that is an apprenticeship. So you're gonna pick the one that is what you're currently working in. And then for company and organization, of course, you're going to have to research the best company. You're going to research the official company of that particular place where you're working for. Then you're going to indicate whether you're currently working in this role or not. And then you also display if LinkedIn helped you get this job or not. And then you're going to indicate your start date, your end date. The location is not necessary, but the location type is necessary because if you want to work remotely or you want to work on premise, location type is going to play a role. And in your description, you are going to highlight the tasks that you used to do for that job role. And then under the section, under the description, there is the skills section where you are going to add 3 to 5 skills that you acquired while working in that particular role. And then you're gonna do that, of course, for each and every role that you've been in so that you optimize your experience section in general. And then, of course, once you're done with the experience section, the next thing is going to be your education section, your licenses, or any other section you'd want to add. Now, for my particular profile, I've added the education section whereby you can see here, I've only indicated my university degree. Of course, I did do other courses, but they weren't degrees, they weren't masters. But once I do my masters, this is where I'm going to add my masters. Now, I've not added a lot of information on my education section because I really didn't see the need of me adding everything I learned in my education section, but I did add the skill sets that I acquired in that particular education part of my life. So you can also indicate the same things as me. If you also feel like you want to describe your education section, make sure you add it in the description part. And then you are going to jump straight into your licenses and certifications. I have my licenses and certifications because I have done a lot of certifications aside from my degree. And you guys can see here, I have a workflow specialist from Asana. By the way, if you need me to do a tutorial on how to leverage Asana as a project manager or how to use Asana to set up whatever it is you want to set up, do let me know in the comment section. You can also see I have indicated the Global AI Bootcamp. I was a speaker for that particular event. And then I did a data science and machine learning fundamentals at Corporate Finance Institute. I have also done a certification on cloud engineering. I've done a certification in UX UI design, and there's so many other certifications that I did not feel the need to include, but you can also include them because you are a job seeker and you want to put out as much information about you as possible. So that is it on how you can actually optimize your LinkedIn profile. Of course, there are so many other things that go into your LinkedIn profile. For example, the keywords that you're gonna use, especially when you are trying to rank and having the LinkedIn algorithm work for you. You're also supposed to use the right titles and roles in the industry that you're in, and there's a bunch of information that you need to know when it comes to optimizing your LinkedIn profile. But this was just covering the basics. I'm gonna do a part 2 where I'm gonna talk to you about the hacks and strategies and tips on how to leverage LinkedIn for visibility. But that was it for this particular video. I'm hoping you guys found it helpful. If you did, then make sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I did a video on how to write a resume or an ATS resume. If you haven't watched that video, I highly recommend you check that video out so that you can be better prepared for your job search. But up to that point, thank you guys so much for watching until the end, and I am going to see you in the next video.